Bottom line, Flo, Canteen, Hot Take, Jake, and O.
So here we go. NFC South. Ken, what do you got? You got Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Carolina. We all know where you're going here.
All right, man.
I think you're running out of room there.
Hush, man, hush.
We got
all
like
right, man. So now
let
let me say this.
Okay.
When I look at the NFC South, the only team that made strategic moves and did great things in the offseason were the Falcons. That you can't argue with that. Let me pronounce his name properly tonight.
They were so bad they got a quarterback out of it.
Kirk Cousins. They got the kid from Washington, Matthew Judon. Is that correct? Judon.
He's like old.
Matthew Judon.
Okay.
They picked him up, and they also picked up the kid from Denver, I believe. Was it Denver they picked up?
Justin Simmons.
I don't know. This is your diatribe, Canteen. You gotta know the name.
Let me finish. The kid from Denver. So they made the most strategic moves, did the greatest things. I think they'll be 12-5. The Falcons.
That was your strategic move.
They'll be 12-5.
Okay, 12-5. Okay, let me get that. You had me all confused.
Because you said, they got the easiest schedule. So I guess with the easiest schedule, you can win at least 12 games.
I guess we'll see. You better hope you do. That schedule.
They'll be 12-5. All right, the next team in the NFC South, the Saints. I think the Saints are going to part ways with their coach, Dennis Allen. He's not a very, very good coach. He's nothing like Sean Payton was, and then they're going to go with Derek Carr. I guess is their starting guy.
8 years ago, Sean Payton.
Stupid.
I'll give them a 10-7 season.
You give them a what?
I'll give the Saints 10-7.
10-7. Oh, they fire their coach 10-7. Wow. Okay, go ahead,
man.
Okay,
the Bucks are gonna fall off. The Bucks will be 8-9. The Bucks will be 8-9.
Okay.
And then with the Panthers, I'm gonna go. Panthers are gonna be 4-13. They still got a lot of rebuilding.
At least you got one team.
I mean, at least his picks this week are a lot more
reasonable.
I think it wasn't you get a car, you get a car. Everybody gets a car.
Hey.
Okay. All right, Omar. What you got?
All right. Here we go. I agree with Ken. The only team in the South that made strategic moves in order to actually boost their team was Atlanta, and that best move was getting rid of that bum Arthur Smith and sending him up to Pittsburgh where he belongs as offensive coordinator, because I am sorry, the way that you mishandled, misused, and misabused the talents of Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London will forever baffle me. Not to mention you got Tyler Algier in there too. It's not like he's not good. I mean, what are we talking about? This offense, if Kirk Cousins, old behind, can stay healthy, the Atlanta Falcons have a chance to be one of the best teams in the NFC. They're not a Super Bowl contender, but at least one of the top teams in the NFC. If he doesn't, if they end up bringing in, as Cam likes to call him, Michael, cover your kids' ears, Penix, don't say that, Penix, then they're going to have a hard season. I'm going to say Kirk Cousins stays healthy because I don't know any better and I don't wish anybody to get injured. So we'll go with 10 wins. 10 wins for the Falcons.
Okay. 10 and
that means 10 and 10. What do you mean? 10 and what? What do you think, Flo?
I'm just making because the last time you were like, you said 5 and 11. I was like,
okay, you're making a joke on. Okay, got it. Okay, got it.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I like it. Okay.
All right. 4 years ago.
Yeah,
we had 6 games.
That's okay. So Tampa Bay, not much you can say. Not much changed, right? They got the same team coming back. The same offensive pieces, pretty much same defensive pieces. They lost some pieces here and there, but I don't think anything that's going to affect them too much. I'm going to give them the same record, 9-8 this year. Okay. New Orleans, I really started the offseason with them high. I've always obviously been a fan of Derek Carr, being a Raiders fan, and wish he would have never left. But also, right, they still got Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, right? Okay. They got the Taysom Hiller. They've got all these. Oh, actually, I think Taysom Hill left now. Anyways, it doesn't matter. they've got all these weapons that they have, but the problem is all their weapons are old now. And so that's what's really giving me a pause for concern.
Okay.
So I'm actually stepping back, and instead of, I actually had them in second at first, and I had to pull them back to third behind Tampa Bay because I just think everybody's too old on that team. So 8-9 record for the Saints. And then finally bringing up the rear. Ken is right. Carolina, it's just too much. They're in too tough of a division.
Yeah.
They're just not that good yet. Bryce Young has not proven that he's a capable NFL quarterback. I got them at 5-12.
So just real quick before Jake goes, 5-12. So is this a make or break year for Bryce Young as a starter, or do you think it's just the team
I will say this.
In the second
I
year,
will say I'm not even
improvement.
gonna give him the time of day because he's one of the worst owners in the league. But that owner has done a lot of bad things to his franchise.
Okay.
And this is no offense to Bryce Young, but one of them was drafting him over C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
And now they have to deal with that. Does he still have a chance? Yes. Do I think they cut the cord after this year? No. I think if you spend that high on a pick, you got to give him at least 3 years to pay it out. Especially because you brought in a coach, the quarterback coach, right, to be his coach, and that did nothing, and then you fired him. So
that's fair. Okay.
And you know why, Flo? Because when you say things like 2, and I'm not talking about you, but when fans say, only 2, well, that's the problem where they're at now. That's why Carolina's where they're at now, because the owner can't keep a coach or an interim coach or a quarterback or a running back or a wide receiver or a damn defensive lineman because he sucks.
Okay. All right. Omar. Going off on the Panthers ownership. All right, Jake, what do you got here for the NFC South?
Well, I'll start with following him. I think the Panthers are going to be the worst team. 4-13. It's going to look bad for those guys. Bryce Young, I would not be surprised if they're drafting another quarterback next year and give him some
I'm not saying it's not possible. It is possible. I would give him 3 years. I would personally.
Okay.
I don't know how you give him 3 years. I think they fired the head coach now.
Because he's not being developed properly. Give him somebody to develop him properly, and maybe he'll become good.
What was the record?
The project on him, though, Omar, is bigger than like you're already now 2 years in. Your project on him is worse. Not only that, he's a shorter quarterback. I'm sorry. I think he's on.
That might be true. They may have killed
his
his
the back end.
Right, yeah.
I'm sorry. I hate to say it.
What's the record, though? What was the record, Jake?
4-13.
4-13. Okay.
Then I got the Saints after that. I told everybody Dennis Allen will be fired this season. Poor Derek Carr's got to deal with another bad head coach. They're going to go 7-11. They will not start. I think their year starts next year.
They're playing 18 games this year?
7-11.
No, wait.
That's great.
Is that the only team playing it?
7-7. 7-10.
Damn, they got that extra game in there, huh?
Shut up, man.
One of the preseason games count, I guess.
I have the Bucks 9-8, but they will not make the playoffs with that record, and we'll find out why later.
Okay.
But currently, I still have the Niners, and the Rams that made it in that division. In this division, there will only be one playoff team, and it's the Falcons. They'll go 11-6. I think it's more off of the paper of what they did through the offseason. I believe it's just based on this is the trashiest division out of all of the NFL. There's no competition. This is just straight crap. Congratulations, Kirk Cousins. You'll be average, and I believe you're one and done in the playoffs.
You said they're crap, but you gave Tampa Bay 9 wins. So.
That's fine. They can get 9 wins. You're playing in that division.
Okay.
Somebody got to win.
So what you trying to say, Jake?
And the Falcons are 11-6.
Okay. All right, so here we go. Flo is up.
Yeah, no confidence in that whatsoever, though.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go up from the bottom up because that's how the alphabetical order starts. Carolina's gonna be 5-12. I agree with you guys. You guys got them either 14-13, or 4-13, or 5-12. I got 5-12. I think it'll be a little. Bryce will be a little better. I think that just. I agree with everything Omar said, and I'm not gonna go off on a diatribe like he did. He did it for me, so. Thank you, Professor. But yeah, they're that bad. I'm a Tampa Bay. I like Tampa Bay more than you guys. This is another team I like more than you guys. Baker Mayfield, I think he's solid. I like the running backs of Bucky Irvin and Rasheed White. And Mike Evans is still there. Chris Godwin is still there. Jalen Dillon is not bad. I mean, they got a solid offense, and I think Baker. I think he was hurt last year a little bit, so he played through some injuries. I think he'll be better this year, and I think the offense will be a little better. I don't think they're going to be high scoring. I don't think Baker's that kind of quarterback, but I think they'll be solid enough. And I think their defense is going to be solid as well. Coming back, they got a couple injuries that I'm not sure about if they're coming back. I haven't checked their injury report, but Chiron Shanika, I don't know his name, Shoyinka, and then they got some weird names. Yaya Daibi. They both listed as injured, but I don't know if they're going to play. Those are their starters at the linebacker, so that could hurt them. They still have Jordan Whitehead. They have Jamal Dean at left corner and Zion McCollum at right corner. But I mean, they always had a solid defense, so I think they're going to be solid on defense. They're going to be like the top 5 or anything, but I think they still have pieces in that defense that play well. I got them at 10-7. And then New Orleans, I agree with most of you guys. Cam's got them at 10-7, so I don't know what he's looking at there, but 10-7 for New Orleans. I guess they're going to make the playoffs in his bracket. But I think that I don't know, Carr just doesn't have it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of Spencer Rattler late in the season. The rookie. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays a little towards the end of the season. And he looked pretty good in the preseason. He's looked pretty good late. And at one point, he was the number one. He was going to be the number one pick before Caleb Williams would surpass him in Oklahoma. But everybody was looking at him as a top 2 or 3 pick in the NFL. So I think he's got his confidence back. Now he's with the New Orleans Saints, and maybe he can make some noise there next year as they move on from probably Carr this year. They'll be 7-10. And then finally, the Atlanta Falcons. Cam's old team, and I do say his old team. Come on, Cam.
The eye of Canteen's heart.
His old team have a soft spot in his heart. But now he's for life. We all know that. Cam is for life.
Canteen, give me that. Give me that Falcon, baby.
DC for life.
There we go. Falcon, baby.
Hey,
Let's
Flo.
What do you have them, Flo?
I'm about to take you off the show. You better stop. I'm about to take you off. All right. So Atlanta, I think they did well. I like the Kirk Cousins acquisition better than Cam did. He didn't even like it at first. Now now that they've surrounded Kirk Cousins with some weapons, man. Who did they get to surround him?
They went to Chicago and got their receiver.
What do you mean?
Who?
Flo, stop.
They got a lot of weapons. What are you talking about?
Really?
Yeah, but who did they get? It's the same players except for
so they had Algiers.
Okay.
Kyle Pitts.
Well, who they get around him? You said
they went and got the kid from Chicago.
What's his name?
Well, they are new to him. They are technically new to him.
What do you
mean?
What's his name?
I don't know all these people. Man, I
don't
know the kid.
Man, come on, Cam. Anyway, but you said they surrounded him. They got Bijan Robinson was there last year. Algier was there last year. Drake London was there. Kyle Pitts was there last year. I think most of these tackles were here last year. I mean, they didn't surround him with nothing.
I think he just meant new players like around Kirk Cousins.
But what I'm saying is they beefed up their defense. They beefed up the defense heavy.
Okay, who did they get to beef it up?
Judon.
That's it.
They got Judon and Justin Simmons.
And the kid from Jake's old team.
Simmons?
I love you, Ken.
Yeah. I mean, what?
They beefed up their team from last. And not only that, they had Jesse Bates that they acquired last year from the Bengals. They're building their team.
And he's like when I was in Hawaii. I used to live in Hawaii, and you never ask a local to give you directions because they don't say like take 2 miles this way. They say, "Oh, hey, you go down to the supermarket down there. You go there, you take a left, and you go down to that road, Jew road down there. You take a right on that dirt road. You keep going down."
Hey, horrible. I am so sorry to all my friends and family. Miohana back in Oahu. Jeez, please do not send us death threats. That was the worst Hawaiian pigeon I have ever heard in my.
Well, anyway, my point is that he just gives out, the guy that this guy's team and that guy, and they surrounded him with this and that, and he doesn't say anything. He's saying nothing, basically.
I'll be surprised if we
Low.
don't get death threats by the end of the night for you, man. Damn it.
I was there 4 years. I like Hawaiians for the most part. All right.
Don't make it
So,
worse. Don't make it worse.
I think Kirk Cousins is solid. I don't think Michael Penix will play this year unless something happens to Kirk Cousins. Who knows if he's going to stay healthy or if he looks healthy. He's coming off an injury, of course, but they have a solid offense. We'll see how the new coach plays them. I think they're going to be 11-6, though. They're going to be 11-6. They, like Ken said, they have the worst or the lowest, easiest schedule, so they can squeak out 11 wins with the worst schedule in the NFL. And so I think they'll be good. They'll be a playoff team. They'll be 11-6.
Bottom line, low, canteen, hot take, Jake and O.